let's talk about Sydney Sweeney, because this is crazy. I feel like if Mary was here, she would love this topic.
Probably.
She would love to talk about this. Sydney Sweeney recalls the time her dad and granddad walked out watching Euphoria. Well, I wonder why. Right? Like, it says, Sweeney, who shot to a number of nude scenes as Cassie in Euphoria, told today's Willie Geist that her father actually walked out of the room when he saw the show with her granddad. See, fatherless behavior. Even if you've got a dad, this is a problem. Like, if your dad was doing his job, I feel like Mary's argument would be, if your dad was doing his job, he would have raised you properly and you wouldn't have gone and done the nude scenes to begin with. That's my opinion. That's my judgment on what I think Mary would have said. I have no idea whether that's if that's what she would have said.
That sounds right.
She says, I didn't prepare my dad at all. She laughed. It's hilarious when my dad is forced to look at me naked. Like,
yeah, it's not a laughing matter. Like, it's kind
of a laughing matter.
I can see. Well, here's the thing. Like, if you're sitting around with your friends having a beer, it can be a laughing matter. I feel like in the media. Yeah. Like, that's a man with a reputation and his own friends and his own community, and he now has to deal with the way that this is going to backfire on him. Also, like, I tell my parents when to not watch a show I've done. Like, immediately after I've done it.
You get naked on camera a lot?
Well, no, but if there's anything that I talk about that I, like, feel like they probably wouldn't want to hear, then I'm like, hey, just so you know, this one's probably one to skip.
I never warn my mom.
You know what?
If I say things that are like off the hook or whatever, or if I share some meme.
Society is. You know what Hollywood has really done? This is my new conspiracy theory. I have long since believed that Hollywood does in fact want to promote the idea that you should have a chosen family and not a biological family, that you should choose your chosen family over your biological family. You know how they're doing it with regular people? They're making it so they can't watch anything with their parents without being worried about seeing naked people. Like, if you can't watch anything with mom and dad because titties might come out of nowhere and you don't want to have the awkward thing where you both pretend like you're not looking at what you're looking at, well, then you just stop watching things with your parents and it drives you apart, and Hollywood gets to play their role in driving a wedge between you and your biological parents. This is Hollywood. It's their fault.
I just think it's like, it's wild to me how prevalent sex scenes are in TV.
It's so unnecessary most of the time too. Like, almost all the time.
I've written scripts for 2 different TV shows and a movie, and at no point in any of them did I feel like a sex scene was necessary or even beneficial to the plot.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've actually written 2 movies, and that one, the second one was actually the first one I ever wrote, but the whole plot is following these 2 characters on a camping trip. They're in college. It's a guy and a girl. They have feelings for each other. And I had the chance to write in a sex scene. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I was like, I don't see any way in which this helps.
I do wonder for the, like, I remember her grandma or like one of her grandparents basically said that I kid you not, quoted like saying like, she's got the best tits in the business. Like, her own family said that. So, you know, the whatever works. It works for them, but the like dad and grandpa walked out of watching it. But I feel like a warning might have been fair. Like, hey, dad, like, this is not like they're just seeing a photo. This is you simulating stuff that you as a parent don't want to see your kid doing.
Right.
That seems like a thing you might want to warn them about.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you're saying you don't warn your mom when you say things that are out of pocket, and that's way different than than what we're talking about here.
There is almost zero chance of my wiener showing up in my mom's feed.
Yeah, like there's jokes I'll make, there's, you know, things I'll say, but there are certain things I would not do.
She says, my dad and grandpa turned it off and walked out, but my grandma, she's a big supporter of mine. Have you noticed a trend? Like, one of the things that I've noticed is like a lot of women in Hollywood, they stay young by like, it's like, oh, look at this middle-aged woman with her daughter. They're like twins, and they do photo shoots together. And it's like a way for the adult to like clutch, like hold on to their youth by seeing like, oh, you look just, you look like sisters. You could be the same age, because it's a way to like delude themselves into thinking that they're younger than they are. in a lot of ways.
Maybe.
I don't know if maybe the parents, speaking objectively, like, I don't think the stuff will come back to bite her later in her career if she leans into it. I don't know. I think Hollywood's going in a direction where maybe in the 90s, doing stuff like this might have been a problem for you later on. But nowadays, I don't think that Hollywood's going in a direction where this will have to work, where this will have to be a problem for her.
If anything, unfortunately, it might end up helping her later on.
Probably. And it also bothers me because, look, in 20 years, we're going to have to wait, and then we're going to get the articles that are saying Sam Levinson coerced so-and-so into shooting these scenes. And then I've got to listen to then who's lying? Were you lying when you were in your 20s and you're saying it was the greatest thing ever? Or are you lying now so that you can get more attention for your career as your beauty starts to fade and your career starts to fizzle out? I don't know what side to take. I just think both are annoying.
I think you at the very least got to be consistent. You know, however you talk about it when it happens should be how you feel about it.
Yeah, like how you feel about it now in your 20s should be how you feel about it in your 50s if no crimes were committed. If that's how you behaved in your 20s, fine, own it. Like, don't come to me 20 years later and say that you regret doing, or like you were coerced into doing them. In fact, I'll change it. You can regret doing them. I guess there's nothing wrong with saying, like, look, I was wrong when I did these when I was younger. But when you start telling me that somebody, like, oh, he had power over me by being the director, I'm like, then don't take the job.
Do you remember the Joe Rogan bit from like 2016 where he was talking about Harvey Weinstein? And he was like, I am a sexist, but I'm sexist against men because if I had a son and Harvina Weinstein was like, and he was like, be like, do you want to be Batman or not? It's like, I just remember that one. Like it every time this comes up, it's always in the back of my mind. Joe Rogan.
It's a never-ending cycle too. For like, I get unduly annoyed when I read these articles because they're always glorifying it in their 20s, and then their 40s and their 50s come along, and I'm hearing about how everything was bad back then. I'm like, how can it simultaneously be a sign of free expression and part of the sexual revolution and the freedom of women, and then also a crime 20 years later if you're not reporting the crime when it happened? I don't know who to trust or who to believe. I just know that all of it is annoying.
I am curious on your thoughts about this, though. Which is worse, this Sydney Sweeney thing or MILF Manor? I know Phil's thoughts are probably Sydney Sweeney.
I don't know. I feel like pound for pound, actually, I have no idea. That's the thing. Is like, I feel like the Sydney Sweeney one is worse as an isolated incident, but the sheer scale of MILF Manor. MILF Manor is more incestuous and creepy. Like, MILF Manor is probably objectively worse.
Yeah, probably.
Like everyone knows that Hollywood is full of creepy people in charge that get people to do things that they may or may not want to do, and then it's our job to discern which ones actually wanted to do this stuff and which ones are just doing this for the promotion now, which they will then eventually turn on its head later and say, oh, it was so bad, it was this, it was that. MILF Manor's bad all the time. Yeah. Like there isn't a good version of MILF Manor.
No.
Like not really. Like that, it's so weird how like reality TV shows have been like, more than anything in Hollywood, reality TV shows coursing the culture far faster. Between this and the show where they're doing making kids look at naked adults for the sake of educating kids on different body types. Yeah. Like they're it's being used as a bludgeon and a weapon to be like, it's not bad, it's just reality TV.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
It's all bad. Okay, then let me ask you this question. Have a daughter. Do you ask for the warning beforehand?
Yeah.
Or do you yell at her after if she doesn't get the warning? If she doesn't give the warning?
In both circumstances, yes.
Yes. Bill?
I have no idea.
Imagine being put in that position, right?
Even if it could be my friend, and I would be like, "Hey, if there's gonna be a sex scene, can you warn me first? Because like,
heads up, please."
Yeah, it's like I may or may not want to see that.
Yep. Yep. It's just I don't know, man.
Like it's with the boys, I'm gonna be like, "You better watch," but like, you know.
It just boggles my mind because I read stuff like this and it's like, I just can't imagine having that conversation with my dad. It's just no. I don't know, man. It's she's an interesting case though, because she seems to lean into these roles and really like it. So she's making it part of who she is as an actress. It is what it is. You know, she's playing Reality Winner.
Apparently.
The NS, they look. You want to talk about winning the casting lottery? Like, you know, the actor always looks better. then the person, well, this is a fantastic example of that. Of somebody who like reality winner is
need to look up the
like
whole
reality winner is not. She's just not. I'm not saying she's ugly. She's just definitely not Sydney Sweeney. That is for sure. And I felt bad because I didn't even know who that was. I had no idea about the reality winner thing until.
What was her thing again?
She was
she released classified information.
Oh, okay.
Also, actually, speaking of casting, I want to put this up here. These were my guys. I recently, because Elizabeth Holmes just started her prison sentence. Did you see that? That she's finally in jail. She's probably hawking a fake blood product to the people in jail now in the yard. Well, if they ever make another movie about Elizabeth Holmes, these are my casting choices. I give you down to earth Elizabeth Holmes on the top, and then I give you smoking hot Elizabeth Holmes on the bottom. The top one is Robin Weigert. The bottom one is Alona Tal. Those are different people. So it just proves that with a little bit of makeup, you can look like anybody, right?
True.
No, I don't agree with that.
Maybe not you, but
with a lot of makeup,
with a lot of makeup,
like
you can look like anybody.
I mean, at that point, you go with CG.
Yep,
yeah,
you
true.
Do that. All right. The fact of the matter is, if you're going to be in a sex scene, let your parents know ahead of time.
Do you think it's a little odd with that specific one that she's like, people are sexualizing the character? I haven't seen much of the show, but the people sexualizing the character are the writers.
Yes.
Which bugs me because this is a show about high school students.
Yep.
Like, listen, high school students hook up with each other. They do. It happens. But as an adult, you're supposed to kind of like turn a blind eye to it when you're writing.
Yeah.
Like,
also, just make them college kids.
yeah, just write a story about, or at the very least, make sure they're all 18.
Yes.
When you're having the like.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.